What's going on, everybody? Today we've come out here to this beautiful forest just outside of town, and I'm here with Kirsten, who's behind the camera. She's going to be helping out, and we're going to be making a video really talking about composition, and then we're going to talk about editing on composition. So the first thing about composition I want you guys to be aware of is something very simple, but it's called the rule of thirds, and it applies in photography and it applies in filmmaking as well. So what I'll do now is I'm just going to draw in the rule of thirds composition here, and then you're going to see what that might look like. You can activate those settings on your camera as well. So in your camera, when you're looking through the viewfinder or through the back of the screen, you're going to be able to see your thirds compositions. Now it helps to frame important items within the cross sections of the thirds, and then that's naturally going to draw your eye to it. When it comes to composition, you've got a couple of things to consider. So if you take a look at these examples of composition that I've set out for you, what you'll notice is something that is called breathing room. I'm not sure if that's a technical term for it, but if you've got your subject in the center of the frame, there's a lot of breathing room on either side of them. If your subject is moved to one side of the frame, like you can see over here, and they're looking into that minimal amount of space, they've got a lot of free space behind them, but not very much space in front of them, their breathing room is cut off, and it creates a very claustrophobic feeling shot. Now you can use this to your advantage if that's the feeling you want to portray with a particular shot you're working with. Flip that around and you have got all of the open space on the side that they're facing. That creates a sense of freedom, a sense of exploration, a sense that that subject can go out and do anything. Now be aware of that technique when you're going out and you're creating films, because that can help you achieve a particular aesthetic or feel that you want in that specific shot. Same thing goes for headroom above the head. Typically you want to frame about an apple above the person's head, and that gives you a nice amount of headroom. If you frame them with a lot of headroom, again, that gives them a lot of room to look up, and it feels like, you know, the sky is the limit kind of thing, as cheesy as it sounds. And then if you frame them with very little headroom, again, you can make them feel boxed in and claustrophobic. A fantastic example of some progressive and unusual compositional techniques is a series called Mr. Robot, and there they really just blow it all out of the water, and they do whatever they want. Having said that, it's all quite well thought out, and it really does evoke a sense of the strange or the uncomfortable based on the way that they're framing. So filmmaking is a very psychological process, and you get into your subject or the person who's watching's head, and so these techniques can help you do that. With a good understanding of composition, we can use it to our advantage. Let's take a look at how we can edit on compositions. What we're going to do is we're going to center frame a couple of shots, and then we're going to edit on those, and then we're also going to frame a couple of shots onto the right hand side of the frame and focus on those. Here we framed our point of interest at the center of every shot. This allows for a pleasant viewing experience. When we cut to the next shot, the viewer's eyes doesn't have to search the frame for the point of interest. However, it always remains in the center. For this next segment, we've used the same principle, however framed all the points of interest on the right hand side of the shot. There you have it, a couple of tips on composition, and by putting these into place you can really improve the overall quality of your video. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. And if you have any other great tips on composition, let me know in the comments below. I'll catch you guys in the next one.